So good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to another SpeakUp session. SpeakUp is a unique collaboration between KeyNote and SpunkGo, through which KeyNote directory members and training alumni will share their experiences and expertise on various topics each month to inspire and ignite meaningful conversations on subjects that matter and bring communities together through SpunkGo. KeyNote Women Speakers is the world's leading directory of female public speakers. Founded in Singapore in 2017, KeyNote is a nonprofit organization run entirely by volunteers. KeyNote's mission is to bring diversity to speaking stages across the world. They offer a much acclaimed public speaking training program for women who want to increase their confidence in speaking up either at home or at work. KeyNote was recently awarded the Outstanding Achievement for Gender Inclusion at the AmCham Women Hero Awards 2021 for their groundbreaking work on moving the needle on diversity in stages. SpunkGo is an all-girls global student organization that operates in 20 countries with over 5,000 members. We hold regular LifeSkill webinars each month for young women in our various chapters, hosting successful women entrepreneurs and professionals in our webinars. In this SpeakUp session today, we're glad to host KeyNote woman Abel. Abel is an experienced communications expert, well known across Asia as an international speaker, actress, TV personality, motivational speaker, author, communications and presenters coach, and host of You Are Able video series. An award-winning coach named an Asia Woman Leader 2019 and a member of Forbes Coach Council, Abel has worked all over the world, taking on many stages, including TEDx. As a professional communicator, her aim is to help children and adults communicate deeply and bravely from their hearts, to go beyond their ego and be aware of their mindsets, so that their relationship with themselves and others can flourish. Through her lived experiences, Abel will reflect on how the pandemic may have impacted young people's lives and mental health and well-being, and explore ways to support them in this transition post the pandemic. Welcome to Speak Up, Abel. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon from Thailand to everybody. Thank you so much, Netra, for a beautiful introduction. I really like your voice. Your voice sounds really nice. And we can't hear her, but you can hear me now, right? You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
I have just one request. Of course, everybody have turned off their microphones, but if you could turn on your video cameras, that would be wonderful. I think it's a greater way for us to connect. And as somebody who also cares a lot, thank you, Cecilia. As somebody who cares a lot about communicating and connecting, it's great for me to see your face. If you can, that would be wonderful. Yay. Am I supposed to continue or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for opening your videos. Thank you so much. Wow, some of your names, I'm not sure if I can pronounce. I hope I don't say it wrong, but let's get started. And I'm more than happy to answer your questions later on. I will be asking you some questions while I am sharing my short presentation. I'm not hearing anything. So I hope that you will send me a text, a chat when I ask a question. That would be great. And may I ask Binu to please start my first slide? That would be great. Awesome. Okay. All right. So once again, thank you so much for having me. I am just very, very happy to be here. And today we are talking about youths are not alone. So please, next slide. I wanted to ask you guys really quickly, if you can just type a number in your text box. How was the last 2 years for you? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is being like really bad, unhappy, stressed. 10 is like super happy, super excited. Where are you right now? Like right now. So I got an 8, I got a 10. Ooh, awesome. 7, 6, 6. Awesome. Anybody? I mean, you're just most welcome to just type 4. Okay. 4, 6, 5. Okay. 9, 5, 4. Awesome. 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 Thank you for sharing and being so honest and getting so many replies. 8, 4. Excellent. 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 This is wonderful. Wonderful for me to understand you. 9.5. That's awesome. I wanted to go into the basics today in communications, obviously about verbal, nonverbal, when to speak, when to listen, and also when is a good time to share. And next slide, please. Another question I wanted to ask you is, oh, actually, I'm sorry, Binu, can you please go back one? Sorry, I realized I didn't ask a question. Let me explain the difference between feeling alone and being alone. Now, I have heard people say, I feel so lonely. Maybe they are feeling that they're not heard. Maybe they are feeling that what they say or share is not understood. Maybe their parents are too busy working. They are not around to support them. Maybe they just broke up with a boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they feel like lonely because they're used to having a couple. These are some examples of feeling lonely. I'm sure many of you have different interpretations of what that would be. You know, what feeling lonely is to you. But what about being alone or just being alone? Do you think that being alone makes you lonely? Can somebody just type in the chat yes or no? Do you think that being alone makes you lonely? Yes or no? I know there are many, explanations that you can say, but I just want a yes or no answer. No, 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 no. Okay, depending on the situation. Yep, correct. Yes, yes, no. Okay. No solitude, yes, okay. Okay, this is wonderful. Thank you. I personally love my alone time. And I say this because I have been married since I was 21. And I met my husband when I was 17. So honestly, I have never really been single. And so I never feel alone. I also don't feel lonely. The only time that I actually ever felt a little bit lonely was when I was in the beginning stage of depression, which I will share with you later why that is. But I love spending time by myself. And let me explain to you why I enjoy spending time with myself. And I know everybody's different. I'm not saying that you need to be like me, okay? I'm just saying that I'm sharing my perspective. I love being alone because my world, the way that I grew up, growing up at my parents' restaurants. My parents owned a Chinese American restaurant in Ohio in the US. And I was never, ever, ever allowed to be alone. I had to work. I had to work all the time. And I was always taking care of customers, serving people, picking up the phone, getting orders, writing checks, cleaning, cutting vegetables. And I was never, never, ever alone. So when people come and say, I'm so sorry, I'm late. And you know, this is what I would say to them. I would say, oh, I love enjoying my time. I mean, I'm enjoying my time. I love my time alone because I really enjoy my own company. And what you realize is when you are alone, you have more time to just relax, just be. You don't always have to think. You don't always have to reply somebody. You do not have to be at anybody's beck and call. You don't have to pick up your phone and play with your phone. You can just be with yourself. And another thing that I really love, and I'm sure you are doing a lot of that already, but as you get older, you might reflect more. I reflect a lot on what I choose to think, what I shouldn't think. Because let me tell you, I am not different from anybody else. I still judge people automatically. Automatically, without even knowing, I judge them. I only realize I judge others after I have judged them. Okay, but I realize I judge people. So this is something that I'm not proud of. And I still criticize myself. Next slide, please. Now, we all can agree. And like I said, you can ask me questions later if there's something that you want to challenge me with. I love challenges. We can all agree that communication is essential to personal development. Do you live a day in your life where you do not communicate? I don't think you do. Even if you live alone, you would still communicate with somebody, right? Maybe through text, maybe through phone, maybe you have a dog or a cat or some other kind of animal that you take care of. You communicate with them. So communication is essential for personal development. And this is why I showed you this slide here. When I say personal, I'm talking about like personal attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors. And when I say personal, I will also say mindset. Because when I reflect, when I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking about, why did I think that? Why did I choose to think that? Because before, I never thought that I could choose my thoughts, you see. I always just think and allowed outside things to affect me. And I never knew until my late 30s that I can choose my thoughts. There were times when I was very specific in changing my mindset, but I didn't know that I was choosing my thoughts at that time. So when I say personal, I'm also talking about mindset. Interpersonal. Obviously, all of you have interpersonal relationships. You have friends, you have parents, you have guardians, you have mentors, you have brothers or sisters. When I say interpersonal relationship, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about mainly human to human, not with animals. No sound here. Sorry, I'm not sure. I will let Binu deal with the technical things. I hope that you're still hearing me. But interpersonal relationships is, of course, what you see here. How do you deal with a close group of friends? Your schoolmates, university mates, your brothers and sisters, your parents. How do you deal with them? How do you communicate with them? Interpersonal relationships. So my personal relationship is with me, myself, how I think about myself. Interpersonal would be all the relationships that I have with my husband, with my children, with my colleagues, my clients, my customers, my friends. And then social. And when I say social, to me, because I'm a presenter, I also think mass communications. So media, it's just the most easiest way for you to understand what is a societal type of communications. What affects you the most? Commercials, TV series, movies, things like that, that tells you something about life, about other people. And let me ask you also now, please feel free to text. Verbal versus nonverbal communications. We'll do the very easy one first. What is a verbal communication? Maybe one of you would like to turn on your microphone and just share with me quickly, or you can just type. What is verbal communications? Anybody? I'll take 2 people. Just a quick one. Anyone? Talking to someone? Yep, exactly. Samira, thank you. And Kit, you raise your hands. Yeah, message we expect through words. When we use words to communicate, exactly. Isharika, Shreya, Desiree, communication through words, express itself with words. Exactly, verbal, easy, right? Easy, easy, easy. Using voices to share a message, exactly. My business is called Find Your Voice. So voice is very, very important to me. So you know verbal. What is nonverbal? Anybody? Just type your message. So what is nonverbal communications? And I'm talking about communicating with another person now. I'm not talking about with yourself. I'm talking about with another person. Okay, nonverbal can be written. Yes, facial expressions, emotions. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Communicate, exactly. Body language, actions, communicating through words, body language, gestures. Exactly. Perfect. Totally, totally. How about, exactly, I was just thinking tones. I was just thinking tones just now. Nonverbal is when you don't voice out, mostly body language, gestures, emotions, eye contact. Yes, eye contact, also very, very important. Now, there are so many of you from all different countries. There are basic emotions that speak across all cultures, all countries, and it's not related to language. And that's why nonverbal communication is very, very important, because from the studies that I've been reading, verbal is only about 30% of the communications and nonverbal is 70. And let me just give you a very quick example of how I learned nonverbal communications. So I moved to US when I was 10 from Hong Kong. So I'm Chinese. I didn't understand English at that age, at 10 years old. And people would go like, you know, like I can only see their body language. I can only see their face, right? I can only see their body, their face, their expression, their tones of voices. But I don't understand the words that they say. I don't understand any English. The only thing I understand is, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? And then I would be able to say, my name is Abel. And then the other thing that I would say is, where is the toilet? Because in America, they don't use, they don't say toilets, they say restroom. In Hong Kong, which is ruled by England, they use toilets. So I would always say, where is the toilet? And those were the only things that I can say. And I learned to observe people and observe their body language and see whether they like me, dislike me, whether they were disgusted by me. I get that facial a lot, the facial expression like, ugh, ugh, she's Chinese, ugh, because I was staying in Ohio. Yeah, in Ohio back then in 1991, there was like no Chinese around. So I get the disgust look a lot, and then the people that make fun of me. So I know that they weren't my friends. And I learned to understand nonverbal communications much quicker than verbal communication. And then I went to Japan for a year during college. And once again, I had to learn nonverbal communication. I had to try to understand nonverbal communication. What is another kind of communication that I didn't hear you guys talk about that we do all the time? Anybody? Because I did not see anybody text this type of communication on the chat. Quick question then. If nobody, eye coordination, okay, we already talked about that. Texting, gesture, no, more. Sign language, oh, that's interesting. Sign language. It's related to the eyes, observing. If you don't have the eyes, what can you do to understand somebody else? Let's say you're blind. What do you have? You can't communicate with your nose. Of course, I'm not talking about the mouth anymore. Touch, yes. What about this right here? The ears, yes. Listening, listening, so important. This is something I teach younger kids, okay? And I also do this with older kids, not older kids, adults, because sometimes we forget to listen. How many ears do you have? How many mouths do you have? One. This is what I learned from a teacher. Listen more, speak less. I learned and understood people from looking and listening. I listen and I try to understand, what are they trying to say? Even though I don't know the language, I try to pick up the language, of course, but when I don't understand the language, I am listening. And I'm not asking you to only listen and not speak up. because my first slide is the balance between speaking up and listening. But the rule of thumb that I always share is you listen more and you speak less. And this has nothing to do with you being a woman, okay? I'm not being a feminist and I'm not supporting men, okay? It has nothing to do with feminism, it has nothing to do with that. It's more about learning. I learn more when I listen more, because everybody wants to show you how smart they are. That's what I learned. Every country I go to, every place I go to, people want to tell you their stories. People want to share with you. They want you to listen. If you want to develop good relationships with others, you listen. Because when you listen, you gain their trust. And let me tell you, you will always have time to speak. You will always have time to speak. Nelson Mandela, this is what he said. He said that his father was a tribal leader. And what he learned from his father to being a great leader is learn to be the last person to speak. But what he's talking about is when he go into a tribal meeting, there's a group of men, or I'm not sure, I think it's mainly men, right, that come in and they talk. So let's just assume it's a round circle. Everybody is sitting there and everybody has something to say. If you are the last person to speak, everybody will for sure be listening to you. This is something that I learned as a very observant, and I think an observant woman, and I also think that's very smart to do. But you must speak up. You must speak up. This is very, very important. You must let people know, where do you stand, who you are, what are you thinking, and how you can contribute to the team. Okay, so I am not telling you to only listen and not speak. You must speak. You must be a part of that table. You must show up at the table. And by showing up, body language, eyes, when you're looking at people, I mean, depending on what culture you're in, I'm sure some cultures are very accepting of direct eye contact, and some cultures are less accepting of direct staring. So don't stare, in some cultures. But most of the European cultures, I'm not sure about the African countries. I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar with the cultures there. So I'm not sure how long you can stare, what is comfortable, things like that. But make sure you speak up and that you share. Just 1 second, please. Okay, so personal communications.
Share your presentation, Nicole.
Sorry?
Whenever you want me to share the presentation, just tell me, I'll go back into it, okay?
Yes, can you please put back slide 3? So the slide 3 is about personal, interpersonal, and societal communications. Excuse me. So let me just ask you another question. Let's say your parents are cooking, and let's say your mother loves cooking and you want to talk to her. Is that a good time to talk to her about something really serious? Is that acceptable to you? Anybody? Feel free to text. We also don't like staring. No. No. So cooking is a very serious thing in your country, is it? No, it's not. No. So you would not talk to your mother when she's cooking. Nothing, you would not say anything serious to her when she's cooking. Why not? I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know, it's not a right or wrong answer. I just wanted to know what it is for you, whether you think that that is acceptable or not, because every family has their own dynamics, and you would know when is the right time to talk to somebody seriously. Let's say you're very unhappy about something and you really feel you need to talk to somebody, and whoever that person is, I don't know, it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your older brother, your younger brother or sister, a good friend, teacher. You have to look at their moods. Exactly, Desiree. It has to do with their moods. And it's very important to find the right time. If you want somebody to listen to you, to find the right time. let's say if your parents are not, like, let's say somebody you trust that is always around you is not around to hear you out. Who would you reach out to talk to? Something that bothers you. Google. Seriously? Is that a person? So the question is again, you do not have the usual supportive people around you that you feel comfortable speaking with. Who would you try to reach out to speak to? To God? I like that. Friends, yourself, big sis, okay. Okay, yourself. How would you speak to yourself? Just a quick question. How would you speak to yourself? Your partner? Okay, that's wonderful. So many, okay. Journaling, perfect. God, my uncle, mirror talk. I love all of this. I love all of these answers. It's wonderful. Okay, Google, so you can research. That's great. Because I want you to realize and know you're never, ever, ever alone. What I realize also is that whatever I think, I do not think that or feel that in that situation alone. There's always people out there who are in the same situation or similar situation as me. I just need to go reach out and help them. I mean, to help myself, actually, not help them, excuse me, to help myself. Because communication is a form of healing. And also when you say you speak to yourself, I really like that as well. When you speak to yourself, you have to add a form of reflection to it. So you understand that, am I belittling myself? Am I hurting myself when I speak to myself, or am I helping myself? Am I lifting myself up? Because if you find yourself ever in a place where you are saying things like, I'm just not good enough, I feel terrible, this is just not going my way. And then you will start to get into this cycle of complaining and complaining and complaining. And let me tell you, your mind loves it. There's a part of your mind that loves negativity, that loves the building up of the complaint. And unless you realize that you're doing it by listening, that's why you have 2 ears, you can hear yourself talk, right? You can hear yourself complain. Even if you don't speak out loud, you can hear your mind, your thoughts. And you have to choose your thoughts. You cannot allow this mind, this beautiful mind of yours, to use you whatever that it wants. It's just like fire. Fire is the most amazing thing. But if you can't control fire, it burns everything down. When you can control fire, you can cook amazing food, right? How do you control this? You can't always control it. Sometimes you have to just let your mind be, okay? But that's why I say mindset, personal communication is more important than interpersonal and societal. Because if you do not know how this thing works, and if you do not know how you think, and you don't understand why certain things bother you, why certain types of people trigger you, or why certain TV shows bother you, if you don't know why, then it's very, very hard for you to communicate effectively and with high quality with other people. Because everything comes from you. It's not like, oh, you didn't do this right for me. You can't just blame other people when something that doesn't go your way or doesn't happen, because you can always, always, always change the way you look at a situation to make it a positive experience. Next slide, please. Vinu. Anxiety and depression. How would you know when you need help? Okay, I don't want to go too dark, but let me tell you, the darkest times of my life are the times I learn the most, okay? And I say this with eagerness to share with you. I say this with happiness, because when you are in a state where you are anxious, unhappy, depressed, that is actually the signal of your body and your mind telling you something is not right. Something is not right. The way that you are living, thinking, treating yourself is off. Something is off. is not balanced. Have you exercised yet? Have you gone out to do something to help yourself? Let's say, have you gone out to nature? These are all the different ways that I'm telling you right now. These are activities that you can do right now to help yourself to be more reflective, and to help relieve yourself from anxiety and even for depression, because I had depression in 2008, but I had depression because of postpartum depression. So it's from after I had my second baby. Okay, that's where the depression came from, because I didn't have enough sleep and there was a lot of other things that I worried about. And that was the time that I did not know how to control my mind. There were a lot of things that I had no control over, such as, oh my gosh, my son is going to die in his sleep. Why would I think that? Why would I think my son is going to die in his sleep? Maybe that's from, I have no idea where that came from. You know, maybe it's from a past life or something like that. But I was waking up so many times just to check on my son. And because of that, I couldn't sleep. And because I didn't sleep for many months, when I say didn't sleep, I mean I didn't sleep good for many months, I started to have depression. Couldn't eat. I started throwing up. Everything seemed darker. Even when it's sunny outside, it looked dark, because that comes from me. It's not because of the sun. The sun shines on the prison as well as in the heavens. The sun shines on everyone. The sun is not discriminative. It's my mind that couldn't see. I couldn't see. I didn't understand. And that was a time when I did not know how to choose my thoughts. And it was difficult because I did not allow myself to let go so that I can sleep. And I realized that when you have no health, when you cannot take care of yourself and you don't understand yourself. So let's say, instead of me wanting to make money, take care of my children, I decided I'm going to work, and skip exercise. That's not balanced. So if you want to help yourself to relieve yourself of anxiety, first of all, here's just some really quick tips. Go out to nature. Go help somebody else. Talk to a friend. Don't text people, call people. Don't text, and don't just do the Google stuff. I know that kind of helps a bit, but you need human-to-human connection. And how do you know that you have anxiety or depression? Is you don't want to go out, you want to be alone, you maybe start to have substance abuse, like my neighbor who killed himself next door, and I saw his dead body. He was drinking beer in the morning, and I noticed that, and I realized something must have been wrong, because he doesn't drink beer in the morning. When you don't sleep well, when you throw up, when you feel people don't understand you, and you allow a lot of negativity to be in your head. Next slide, please. And I tapped into this a little bit already, but these are ways that you can help to make yourself feel better. Most important thing is you need to be in touch with your body. If you do not know your body, and I know this sounds kind of stupid, but you know, there's a lot of people who work really hard, who are in a way detached from their bodies. They sit in front of the computer for hours and hours and they don't move. And they think that that's normal, because that's what society says is normal. That, oh, you have to work hard. If you don't work hard, then you're not going to get that promotion, and blah, 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 blah. And you start having hunched back, you start getting sick, your eyes start to get blurry. That is not normal. When your body tells you to move and you feel uncomfortable, you need to move. So if you find yourself feeling more and more anxious, and anxiety can lead to depression if it's a prolonged anxiety, I want you to do this. Society will always pressure you in some ways. Your culture, maybe your parents, your religion, whatever it is. But you have to also remember that you are born for a reason. You are born for a reason, and that there's nobody else like you in this world. And it may sound a bit egotistical, but you are born with an identity. You are born with your body, And you are born to have your own path, and there's nobody going to replace you. Nobody can ever replace you on this planet. So you have to realize how special you are and that you have something to contribute. You have something to give. You have a voice and you must use it. And you have to know the balance between your needs compared to the needs of the outside, which is the society. And even if your friends tell you, oh, you should do this, you should be like that, you should da-da-da, you should. Yeah, they think you should, but should you? Are you going to choose? I was just telling Netra and Binu, I have friends, adults, who pressure me to drink alcohol because they think it's so cool and because they think it's lifestyle to drink alcohol because it makes them look, I don't know, does it make you look fancier when you have a wine glass in your hands? I would think that if you do that, I mean, up to you. If that's what you like, up to you. But don't pressure me to do it. I'm allergic to alcohol. I don't need to drink alcohol. I don't need alcohol to make me feel cool because I'm cool enough. Like, I'm really cool. If you want to, pressure me, I can just say, you know what? I'm cool enough. I'm great. I love myself and I do not need to drink alcohol. And if the friends pressure you to do something that you don't feel comfortable, like use drugs, drink alcohol, or whatever it is that they make you feel that you are less than them because you don't do what they do, that's peer pressure. And you have to think, do I want that person to be my friend? I actually cut a friend off because she judged me for not drinking alcohol. So I don't hang out with her anymore. And I don't need to. I choose not to because I do not need people who do not accept me. And that's it, right? But I'm saying this at my age, in 40s. You can do that too at your age. I'm not telling you to be antisocial, but if you feel uncomfortable, you don't need to do anything, okay? These are just quick ways, I'm finishing very soon. Ways for you to make yourself feel better. Use your body to get yourself out of the head. If you ever feel anxious, if you ever feel heavy, if you ever look outside and it feels dark, if you feel like, how come people don't understand me? How come they don't listen to me? How come blah, 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 I'm just not good enough, blah, 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 blah. You start hearing these kind of crap. I say mind trash. I call them mind trash. You start hearing these things in your head. You have to realize, hey, am I speaking positively to myself? Am I helping myself out here? Like, seriously, this is the personal communication part. Am I really helping myself? No. If you want to try to stop yourself from thinking, easiest way, go for a walk. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay anything. I'm sure you can find a place to walk. Walk until you sweat. Okay, so I'm not asking you to just go outside, walk for 5 minutes and come back. Walk until you sweat. When you sweat, you're releasing toxins from your body. That will help you to connect with your body. And your body will help your mind to feel good. Second, I mean, these are all these different things that you can see, right? I don't need to read all of these things to you. But if you love, for example, I love to do yoga. Yoga helped me to learn to breathe. It helped me to if I get bothered by somebody because they say something I don't like, such as my husband, I bother him too. I have to just tell myself, it's okay. It's all right. Not a big deal. Breathe. It's free. You breathe out the stress and you breathe in positivity. And you breathe until you feel your shoulders a bit more relaxed. Talk to friends. You know that already. Find a mentor. Stay away from certain people who makes you feel crappy because you don't need to hang out with them as much as you want to. Maybe instead of going out with them 5 times a month, you can just do once if they make you feel bad. Because let me tell you, only you know what is good for you. Okay? Because when you are happy, everybody around you will be happy. If you are unhappy, you're going to make everybody else unhappy. And when you're unhappy and you make everybody else unhappy, no good things will come to you. You are just going to attract more negativity to yourself. It's not going to help you in any way. Okay. Journal. I love journaling. Whoever wrote that earlier, thank you. Journaling is a way for you to reflect as well, especially when you cannot observe your own thoughts yet, because you can go back and read it. It's really, really wonderful. And I'm finished already now with my slides. And Benu, if you want to go to the last slide, you're most welcome to. And I'm more than happy now to start answering questions, because I want to hear you. I want to hear your questions, and want to have a two-way conversation. So I love to hear your voice now. And I thank you very much for your attention. And I know it's a short presentation, but we only have an hour. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abel, for that wonderful presentation. I think it really highlights the importance of being positive towards yourself and how much negativity really impacts us.
Yes, yes.
So the first question that we have here is, if we have to join any conference or meeting where everyone is already silent and not speaking to start conversation, do we take the initiative to speak up first in that case?
If it's the time to speak, yes. Let's say the presentation is already finished and people are saying, you know, any questions? Of course, you don't interrupt. Let's say if you're in a big conference and the speaker is speaking, then of course, that's obviously not the appropriate time. But do not be afraid to be the first, because whatever you think, somebody else is also thinking as well. So you'll be speaking on behalf of other people. So yes, I encourage you to speak up.
All right. That is absolutely great. The next question here is, are there any activities to really promote positive thinking, because it doesn't come magically?
So that would be similar to what I just said earlier, is first of all, link to your body first. Get in touch with your body. Understand your body, because your body would always tell you, are you getting sick? Oh, my throat hurts. Oh, why does my shoulder feel so heavy? Oh, why does my neck feel so tense? Oh, why is my eye so tired? You know, like, oh, am I staring at the computer too long? Am I playing with the phone too much? Then you need to get out, be in nature. That's the easiest way. Like I said, go outside, look far away, be with nature, go to a waterfall. I mean, I have a lot of waterfalls here in Phuket, Thailand. I go to waterfalls all the time, go to forests, go to kayaking. If I don't have the privilege or luxury to do those things, I just go outside for a walk and I leave my phone here. I do not take any electronics with me. I go outside and I make sure I walk at least half an hour, because I only start to sweat after half an hour. And when I sweat, it's only a little bit under my arms. That's it. So, but when I do yoga, I do an hour and a half each time, and I do 4 times a week minimum yoga. When I'm doing yoga, I am rebalancing all the hormones in my body. I'm releasing excessive energy. And I also have a clearer mind, so that everything becomes clearer and brighter and my minds become sharper. Exercise, that is my only solution right now. Do not even think about meditation and all these, like, you know, complicated things here. Exercise, connect with your body. Do whatever exercise that you enjoy. You don't have to do yoga. You don't have to walk. Go swim, go run. I don't know, whatever it is that you can have access to, do it. Most of them doesn't cost any money. That's my easiest, quickest answer.
I definitely agree with that. I feel like taking a walk just really helps me, like, ground myself, you know, it doesn't get too intense with what I'm feeling.
Yes, exactly. And the sweat helps. The sweat helps to relieve the stress.
Yeah. The next question is, if you want to communicate with a person, but they're not responding to you properly, what should you do?
I would need to know more of the context. They're not responding to you properly. Can you explain a little bit more this question? Responding to you properly. Are they stressed themselves? Are they busy themselves? Are they sick? Are they cooking? You know, what is it that they're doing that is not allowing them to listen to you? And also another thing you have to realize too is some people have a lot of problems within themselves that they don't see, that they cannot see. And people who do not have deep roots, meaning people who do not understand themselves, They rarely reflect. They do not understand what triggers them. They just kind of live day by day, and they just kind of do things on the surface. People like that tend to not have much to offer because they don't have a lot of depth. Not that this is not a critical thing. I'm not criticizing people like that. But what I'm saying is some people just don't have the capacity to listen to you. It could be as deep as that, or it could be, are they sick? Are they just don't care? So I would think that if you want to get through to them, if this is a consistent thing, write them a letter. Write them a letter, because texting is too easy. Write them a letter, or get somebody else that this person will listen to talk on behalf of you, at least to open the conversation, open the door for you, and then you go in and talk. But I really have no idea what is the context of this question. So that is all I'm able to advise at the moment. Yeah.
And I think if the person, whoever typed out this question, if you want to give a little more context, but we will be moving on to the next question for now. So the next question is, what help would you recommend for someone whose anxiety makes them sort of get into a cocoon and become more introverted?
So, okay, first of all, accept that you feel anxious. Accept the feeling, because you are saying that you feel it. Yeah. Accept it first. Do not criticize yourself for feeling that way, because we're all learning. Just remember, we're all just learning. First of all, everything that you feel is a learning experience for you. So if you feel anxious, okay, fine, I accept it. Next is, when you're ready, why am I feeling anxious? Why? You have to ask yourself why. And now do not allow this question to cocoon you even further, because when you're asking this question, you should try to get yourself into a state of mind where it's more clear for you. So go exercise first, go for a walk first, or maybe looking at greenery when you're asking this question. Why do I feel anxious? And then try to see where the answer would be. Sometimes the answer will just come to you. And when you know the answer, then you have to say, what can I do to relieve myself or look at it a different way so that I am not anxious anymore? Because there are many, many ways to look at a situation. If you are unable to see different perspectives on how to look at that situation, please ask somebody else. What would you do if you were in this situation? What would you do? Ask somebody you trust so that they can help you to see another perspective. Because when you are so cocooned into your own thoughts, then no point to think too much anymore. You have to unwind yourself by, first of all, going out, be in water. I also suggest you to do this as well. Go swim. Swimming has a very, very neutral vibration. It can bring up your vibration. It helps you feel better. Go swim. Swim, let your whole body move, and just look at the sky and breathe. If you have access to sea, you don't have to pay, nothing. Go to the ocean, go to a lake, swim. And then you ask yourself, why do I feel anxious? Ask this question when you are feeling more relaxed. But those are the first two steps I want to share. I don't want to share too many steps, otherwise you will think too much.
Yeah, I feel that that's a very good starting point to have when we're trying to solve such a complex problem here.
Yeah.
So the next question kind of ties into that a little bit, and it's I'm afraid to spend time alone with myself. I can't sit by myself and ask, what do I want to do, and what is it that I want? How can we fix this?
Is that what they wrote? Fix?
I wouldn't say fix. It was just more like a statement, but what can we do about this?
Okay. First of all, don't fix yourself. First of all, accept yourself in this moment in time. Accept. ACCEPT, accept, because you are a human being and you are living and you are learning. So remember, it's ING. okay? You are not just born and then you become like, oh, successful, making billions and helping other people. That doesn't happen. Yeah. So if you feel uncomfortable, I really would want to ask you, why do you feel uncomfortable with yourself? Because you are your best friend. You are living with your body 24/7. You cannot escape that. What makes you feel uncomfortable? Why do you feel uncomfortable? Before you, I mean, don't try to say, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. Instead of saying, I don't want to feel uncomfortable and that I need to fix myself or whatever it is that you want to change, accept first that you feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. You're growing, you're learning, you're a human being, okay? You're not human being and you're not human working, okay? So accept that first. Second, why do you feel uncomfortable? Because let me tell you, you feel uncomfortable right now does not mean you're going to feel uncomfortable with yourself 2 days later, a week later, a month later, a year later. You may feel that you are very uncomfortable now in your moment in time, and you might feel really heavy in this moment, but nothing stays put. Just look at nature. Nothing stays put. Can you tell a tree to stop growing? You can cut the tree down, but the tree will still grow. It will find different ways to grow out from the branch, from the trunk. You will still continue to grow. So allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, because your feelings will actually help guide you to tell you, why do I not feel comfortable with myself? Or maybe talk to somebody really close to you. Maybe that person can mirror you and tell you a little bit why they may think that you feel uncomfortable alone. So if you cannot find the answer within yourself by calming yourself down and accepting what you're feeling now, try to find something that you really trust that can mirror you and observe you and try to help you. I hope I answered your question.
That last point was very unique. I've never thought of that, like having someone to sort of be you and kind of we work it out together. Yeah.
It's kind of what I do. I mean, if my clients trust me enough to tell me their problems and they stay with me for at least 4 to 6 sessions, I can see their patterns. I can hear their mental patterns, because they will tend to not tell you all the good things because all the good thing is already there. They accept it, they love it, but they will always tell you their problems. They always want me to fix them. And I would always say, I never fix you. I can't fix you. I cannot fix you. I can only try and help and heal myself, because I stopped using the word fix for a long time. I'm not broken. I'm not broken. I have maybe past pains, anger issues, whatever, but I'm healing myself. And having somebody to observe you and mirror you, it's very, very powerful, but you have to trust that person, because you do not want somebody to manipulate you for their benefit. Okay. So you have to make sure that you really, really trust this person, and this person really cares about you for you to open up and share your deepest things with them, your deepest problems with them, and that this person must really care about you. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the next question here is, how do you deal with most people who don't understand you? This may be parents who don't want to listen to you specifically because you are not successful yet.
Okay, so the question is, how do you deal with people such as your parents who do not understand you because they do not perceive you as successful yet? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Let me think first. I would not worry about that. What can you do about it? What can you do to change their minds? You can't do anything to change other people's minds or thoughts. You can only change yourself. Do you want to be successful just to change their minds? That's another question for you to ask. Are you Feeling that you are successful enough? What is it that makes you feel or make them feel that you're not successful enough? I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but this is a way for you to try to navigate and see what thoughts you want to accept and what thoughts you do not want to accept, even though they're your parents. I'm not asking you to be disobedient. Okay, this can be too complex because, like I said, I don't understand the context of your situation. I'm only hearing one question. Okay, so I do not understand the whole background and detail of the question. But you cannot control what your parents think of you, period. Just like you cannot control the weather, you cannot control the sea, and I cannot control my kids. I can tell them, honey, please don't do that. If you put your fingers into the electrical plug, you're going to get electrocuted. Okay, so, don't do that, please. Don't do that, But you have to realize that they do not understand you, or they has nothing to do with you. You have to try your best to pick yourself up. Let's say, if you care about what they think, then you pick yourself up. If you care about what they think, if you want to be as successful as they want you to be, then you try hard to be successful. Whatever that means to you, whatever successful means to you. Success to me now means a lot of different things, but it means happiness and peace. That's more successful, more than money and title, because I already have title. Money, I'm not rich, but I have enough. It's good enough. What's successful to you? Just always remember this. You never, ever, ever, ever control what other people think of you. You can only do what you do within your power and your ability to showcase what you can offer and what you can. Take care of yourself first. Listen to them. If they don't listen to you, listen to them. Maybe they have something. That's how you get them to listen to you. Just like what I said, listen to them. See if what they say makes sense. Listen. After they listen, and they're gonna be like, oh, why is she or he listening to me so much more than usual? That's strange. Maybe that's another thing that you could think of, another strategy. But like I said, I don't know your relationship with your parents. I don't know the context behind the questions. There are so many ways to go about it. I mean, I can answer this question if I were you and then I was with your parents, and then I would understand why they don't listen to me. Are you naughty in some way? Are you naughty? Are you doing things that your parents don't want you to do, and that's why they don't listen to you? I don't know. What is that? So instead of looking outward and saying, you don't listen to me, do this. Why don't they listen to you? Why not? What is it about you? Improve yourself. My dad always say this when you go to work. Stay quiet, observe, listen, and learn. That's how you earn respect. That's how you earn trust. And that's how you get people to listen to you. Show them what you've got. Show them what you've got. You don't have to talk too much. I know I'm talking a lot now, but let me tell you, I don't always talk. I listen. That's how I learned 4 languages. I listen. So I hope I answered that question. It's a bit long answer, sorry.
I think you answered it perfectly. Yeah, no, I think it emphasizes the point that communication is a two-way street. So you do have to say your point out loud, but you also have to listen to what's being said.
Yes. Oh, I love all these chats. Thank you so much for asking so many questions.
Yeah, no, I worry that we might not have enough time. So we're very sorry if we don't get to all of the questions. I will try to go as fast as I can. So the next question is...
I'm still here. What
do you do if we're looking for peace and quiet and we want to stay alone for a moment, but due to disturbances, circumstances, maybe not even having enough time in the day, how do we make that time for ourselves?
Do you shower? If you shower, there's a good time to be alone. If you can afford it, take a longer shower. Try to go to bed earlier or wake up earlier when everybody's still sleeping, if that's possible for you. If you can try to manage that. I mean, I know everybody's so, I don't know your schedule. Sometimes if you feel that you're too distracted and if you're in a situation where you cannot get out of, then you have to, for example, just let's say take a longer bathroom break. Okay. If you are in a situation that you are afraid to get out of, then you have to ask yourself, why are you still in the situation? I'm not sure if I answered your question, but you have to try and find time because it's your well-being. I know sometimes my house can be loud. Husband who wants to watch TV, he turns on really loud. Kids, I remove myself from that situation. I go upstairs, but it's because I can't go upstairs. If you live in a really small house, I mean, I have no idea. If you live in a really small house, let's say, you can't get out of the house, can you step outside? Can you just step outside? Just so you can have 5 minutes to breathe, some fresh air. I'm sure you can manage. Step outside, take a longer shower, longer bathroom break if you're at work. Maybe listen to music. Some people do that to chop the noise out. Maybe. Yeah, that's my advice. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think it's the small things that really matter. And, it's like very everyday routine, but we can use that to reflect on ourselves as well.
You're welcome, Artie. Yeah. You have to find time for yourself. You must find time for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This next question here is a very good one. It's how do we listen to others? Like we really make them feel like we're listening.
Okay, I will try to understand as best as I can. If you really care about what they're saying, you don't have to try. You will be truly listening to them. You don't have to try. There's no pretense, but it has to come from your curiosity of wanting to learn from them, wanting to understand them, wanting to hear them. So if you want to listen better, instead of having a lot of things in your head that you're ready to speak to them as a reply, I think before you go into the conversation, you have to be very curious, to have a curiosity before you go into the conversation, because you are never dumped into a conversation, right? You have to walk into it. I would believe. Maybe there are times when people will come to you and then they start a conversation with you. That can happen. But that's just part of society and interpersonal communications. So I would always just say curiosity would be the first thing to help you to listen better, because you would want to listen. Second is really try to understand the key points of what that person is trying to say, or try to understand the reason behind why they say something. Just a quick example. I asked a friend for a contact. The whole time, she never ever gave me a contact. She just explained to me why I do not need the contact. So what is she trying to tell me? She doesn't want to give me the contact. That's what she was trying to tell me. She did not want to give me a contact. So I understood. And then I stopped asking. And I stopped asking her for a contact. And I tried to find contact a different way, because I realized that in the 15-minute conversation reply that she gave to me, she did not want to give me a contact. So if you can try to understand the reason or even the hidden agendas on why people say what they want, what they say, because they want something. Everybody has their needs and wants, almost always. What do they want? What do they need? Do they want you to listen to them? Is it their agenda? Do they need your attention? Do they want you to praise them? Do they want you to make them feel important? Do they want a contact from you? Do they want your business? Do they want you to help them? Do they want to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, or whatever, or whatever? That's a way to listen, because it's not just the words that people say. It's the combination of everything that you guys said to me earlier. How are they looking at you? I had this Thai man looking at me and staring at my boobs the whole time. And my zipper was zipped all the way up to here. I had nothing to show him. What does he want from me? Kept looking at my boobs. What does he want from me? I will not give him nothing. I will give him nothing. Because nothing that he wants from me, I'm going to give him. I don't want to give him my time. I don't want to give him my business. I definitely don't want to give him my boobs. So no, thank you. You know, yes, listen. It's not just listening to the words. Listen, facial expression, body language, the tone of their voice, and the reasoning behind why they say it. You can always hear the reasons behind why people say what they say. They want attention. They want to boost their ego. They want something. They want your business, like I said. They want you to help them. They want a contact. It's so easy. It's so easy. If you just really listen, you will see what everybody wants around you. And if you're able to help them, help them. If you're unable to help them, don't help them. If you want to set a boundary and say, no, I'm not giving you time because of blah, blah, blah. You don't make me feel good. I'm not giving you time. Sorry, bye-bye. Ignore. You know, so you have to choose who you want to listen to, because there are a lot of junk out there as well. So be careful. Yeah.
This has been such a great session, but we are running super short on time. And so I'm going to do like a little crunch of questions here.
Okay.
As well as just to note, if you have personal questions that you may not feel comfortable talking about here, you can definitely contact Abel through the chat. So here we've had some of her social media or ways that you can contact her. And so using that, definitely feel free to ping her or just try and have a conversation with her about anything that you might feel wasn't something that you felt comfortable sharing today. So with that, I'll just get into the last two questions that I thought were very challenging and interesting. How do you cope with living with chronic illness, and how do you deal with childhood trauma such as divorce, growing up with a single parent, because that could translate into fears. How do we deal with those fears?
I cannot answer the first question because I do not have the degree in psychiatry to help with chronic illness. I can tell you about childhood trauma. I don't know the levels of your trauma. I can recommend somebody to you who actually deals with trauma on a very specific, who is on LinkedIn. I can recommend her to you because I don't want to go too deep into something that I don't know, and I don't want to pretend that I know something. I have emotional trauma when I was a child. I never had divorce from my parents. So I was never in any physical trauma, like there was no abuse, there was no rape, there was none of that. I think all I can say within my limited experience of emotional trauma from racism, from my parents not really having much time to give to me is, first of all, you have to realize you're not a victim, because it's so easy for you to keep yourself in a victim mentality. This is another ego, E-G-O, identity that the mind loves. The ego loves the victim mentality. And I was a victim for 30 years. And I love calling myself a victim. I'm a victim of racism. I'm a victim of this. I'm a victim of that. And I can't help myself. And I'm so stupid. And I'm not good enough. And it never ends. If you realize that you are not a victim, that is the first starting point of, I can help myself. I am good enough. What happened to me is what happened to me, but it's not your identity. It is not who you are. Do not keep and hold on to the abuse, to the victimization, to what you received, because the things that happened to you is not you. You are a soul and you're perfect. You're perfect right now. Your personality may not be perfect. Your body may not be perfect, but as a soul, you are perfect. And nothing can ruin you. Nothing. As long as you go back inside through nature, through meditation, through things that allow you to go deeper within you, you will realize that you can heal yourself without any psychiatry, any coach, but it'll be quicker if you get like hypnotherapist, a coach, trauma coach, somebody that can help you, somebody who cares about you, somebody who loves you. Oh, you will heal quicker. But do not call yourself a victim. That's the first step I would always say. You are not a victim. What happened to you is not you. It's just something that happened to you. It's a lesson for you to learn. What did you learn from that situation? Not why did it happen to me? What did I learn from that situation? Switch those questions. Okay.
I definitely agree with that advice. You know, whatever trauma you may have, it doesn't define you as a person. Yeah.
I love these questions. I love these questions. I really want you guys to connect with. If you have questions, I will try my best to help you. If I cannot help you, I can recommend other people to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I shifted that too. So you will get a bunch of requests now, I hope. But thank you so much, Abel, for this amazing session. Honestly, it's been an honest conversation more than a webinar or a session, because you were able to really delve into important issues that really matter and how we can, as a youth, progress past the pandemic and its effects. So thank you, Abel, for this lovely session. Thank you so much to the audience as well for engaging and asking so many questions, as well as
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I can see some of your faces, but I'm very appreciative of the chats. I'm really appreciative. I wish I can hear your voice. Your voices are very important to me. The way you sound, who you are is very important to me. You know, everybody has, even if you don't have a physical voice, you can use sign language, right? So you have a voice. And yeah, I just want to say your mind, it can kill you or it could lift you to the highest places. But you have to know how to use this thing. Like I said, you have to know how to use your mind. You have to choose your thoughts. It's very important. You have to choose your thoughts, choose your friends, choose what is good for you, and try to not let too much of peer pressure, society pressure, cultural pressure, or religious pressure to suppress you, because you cannot heal yourself if you cannot hear yourself anymore. If you lose touch with who you are, you will not believe in yourself anymore, and you cannot hear yourself. You have to know who you are. That's all I can say. I know it can be as deep as you want it to go. When I ask you who are you, it can be so deep. But when you are ready, the answer will come. So accept your present, enjoy the moment, learn from all the past situations, and tell yourself, what am I learning from the situation? Instead of, why did this happen to me? Don't say that. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. What am I learning? That's it. So I know it's not as easy as it sounds, but I did go through a lot in my life. So I hope I help some of you in some ways. And I'm most appreciative of your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. For any more details, please visit our website, www.spunkgo.com, and our amazing partners at www.keynotewoman.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session, and have a great day.
Tamari. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.